with light or without light. Still, yeah, because you know, Oko Parliament House on more. Honorable Afenyo Markin, class prefect, and run what you hob also. Oh, what you hob also. What you are ending for the team play. Hey, majority the Mahama Ayariga Okudzeto dear. And I don't know what Jina, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa, Eko Jina no so. Concerning soldiers for ye deploy womo Eko Benin. Any other items be a ye dia koma Jamaica for. I say I'm for Ghana Parliament. Afenyo Markin and omo abeklashe. Mema nchire mu no akire wadwen amame. Ewo comment section. How you Penyah block media. Me so say need mo. Obe like video no other ma boy subscribe button so na ba click notification connect latest update na be chire wadwen de amame. Ewo comment section. Best also ba so no share for onya bi atwe. You know, enche bia and about media no so say Benin there was a coup attempt. Actually nipa bi etwa ko ombe coup d'etat e ma e backfire. It backfired. Emma yet chin will be any ade. Anna Obeka so Jamaica enche bia. And it was a hurricane Melissa. Edru Jamaica. Emma eko twifa kronmo ntino so sese nema sese japade emma say Jamaica abie vulnerable. Omkwa honye hia mu pa. Wi ase amahodo nyina no etwa omon edehwe wo mu. Now you know, empanimfo say charity begins at home. Charity, it begins at home. Yimpuna eda wani so, nuanya ni kroajen ede hu de eda obi ani so ayi. Yete Ghana heye. Boko binyiri basa ekoso ho no. Ye ntimi solve ye. But akoba se enra kudita attempt na course ewo Benin no. Ghana ye deploy soldiers eko Benin. Ese omunko support Benin fo no. Meanwhile, coup ne kura no, it backfired. Coup no, it wasn't sustained. And it backfired. But still, you deploy soldiers. Eko so mkobo Benin for no hoban. Every coup d'etat emu. Boko ye ntimi ensolve ye. Binyiri ye ntimi enya ne puma sibre. Many social vices and eko so Ghana hanumu a as at now ye ntimi ntu ase. But ye two soldiers. Eko Benin es omunkobo oman hoba. And you know one thing, I'm for Ghana Parliament. You know, I'm for Parliament House on just now no. And this one who agree me say almost super majority. It ne say Eko House on mukra na o ma beto so aba engineer. Adi bo no mukra na o mu fa Parliament. Ablakwa no aye na de. Ablakwa as Foreign Affairs Minister no di to me na waye dlope. Emfa Ghana Parliament. And as I say Jamaica, after say Hurricane Melissa, hit Jamaica no. Ghana government donate 10 million, Ghana cedis. Titiskano 100 billion. At the cost of what Jamaica for say omo nyeneja, omo enfa stati bibi kakra Ghana, sympathizes with them. Cause enye de say atwenchim no yenewe abetu omo ewo honoma. But you know one thing, so 10 million Ghana cedis no, and this one for Ghana Parliament. Alpha House honomu. Let's just say, akwa so man na ye witness now no. And this funny bibi omudo mutumi na ye. Ablakwa as Foreign Affairs Minister. O ye bibi a just ordinary to obeka ya. Oje criminals, oje nipa bi free from oje university deportees aba Ghana hanom no. Eno amfa Ghana Parliament ordinary to me energy ye. Ordinary to me energy dey say o man na ye bu na. Enkoyi enye sa na ye man. Bibi ania do mu na mo super majority e wo house on but at least e was a money e be fa Ghana Parliament e was a fa Parliament house on mo e no ana honorable Afenyo Markin enra no ene onu omu e de sie nipa e wo house on enye fedi agro.
Mr. Speaker, members of the minority caucus read in the news some troops being sent abroad for some operational support to those who have suffered in this Hurricane Melissa disaster in Jamaica. Mr. Speaker, we also heard of some relief items being shipped we waited upon government to brief this parliament. That briefing never occurred. We therefore exercise our rights within the rules of this House, which rights the majority leader, as leader of government business, responded to, leading to the Minister of Foreign Affairs finally taking the time to brief this House. Mr. Speaker, let me, on behalf of the Minority Caucus, extend profound solidarity to the good people of Jamaica. And we say to them that we are with them in this difficult time. Mr. Speaker, our hearts are united in compassion for those suffering in the wake of Hurricane Melissa, a disaster that has shattered lives, homes, and hopes. Of course, without doubt, we have seen a Ghanaian tradition of humanitarian gesture being extended to them. But, Mr. Speaker, compassion must walk hand in hand with constitutional responsibility. And that is where we stand as minority. Our duty as a minority is not only to care, but to ensure that every exercise of state power, no matter how well intentioned, is anchored in transparency and accountability. Mr. Speaker, whilst the government has not formally laid its legal justification before Parliament, it is widely understood that such deployments are typically defended under Article 57(1), which vests command of the armed forces in the President, and Article 2102, which permits military to perform, quote, such other functions as the President may determine. We do not seek to contest the constitutional authority of the President as provided for in the Constitution. But, Mr. Speaker, what we fundamentally reject is the notion that these powers exist in constitutional vacuum. The obligation to report to Parliament is not a mere democratic governance cushion. Mr. Speaker, we submit that the need to extend courtesy and support other countries in difficulties does not absolve the executive of the duty to form the people's representatives before or immediately after such a significant decision is taken. Government cannot therefore take credit for coming to Parliament. It was upon a request. Mr. Speaker, the 1992 Constitution does not establish a one-man rule. It establishes a democratic republic built on separated powers and checks and balances. Article 93(2) vests legislative power in Parliament. The deployment of Ghanaian troops overseas is not a minor administrative act by the President. It is a weighty executive policy with profound implications. For Parliament to legislate and oversee wisely, it must be informed. Articles 174 to 179 grant Parliament the exclusive power of the purse. Every deployment consumes public funds for transport, logistics, allowances, and other materials. To deploy first and account later is to treat Parliament, financial authority, as an afterthought. This we reject. It is to spend first and seek approval later, a practice that turns our constitutional role on its head. Mr. Speaker, Article 103 and 95 empower parliamentary committees to scrutinize and demand accountability from the executive. This oversight function is not a courtesy. Emphasis mine, it's not a courtesy. It is a constitutional duty. It cannot be exercised in the dark. Mr. Speaker, but something must be clear. If this deployment is, on the other hand, grounded in any formal agreement, treaty, or memorandum of understanding, as stated by the Honorable Foreign Minister, who said, quote, "The logistics movement agreement has been signed by the United States of America." Mr. Speaker, where is the logistics movement agreement as provided for by the Constitution? Article 75 is very clear. It has to first be laid before Parliament. The executive cannot evade this solemn requirement by labeling a binding commitment as a mere humanitarian gesture. Mr. Speaker, whatever agreement the United States had with the government of Ghana is supposed to be before Parliament. It's the minister's words. Logistics movement agreement. Mr. Speaker, it has to come. Mr. Speaker, this is not about politics, it's about the president that they are setting. If today troops can be deployed for humanitarian mission without Parliament being informed, what prevents being informed? What prevents a future deployment under the same broad constitutional powers for other purposes, also without parliamentary knowledge? We have heard that the government has committed troops to ensure stability in Benin without Parliament being briefed. Mr. Speaker, where do we stand when it comes to our core mandate as a people's representative? Mr. Speaker, the defense minister, today, we have the foreign affairs minister briefing us on the steps we've taken to provide support to the people of Jamaica in this crisis. But equally important is the mandate of the Minister of Defense. For the time being, the finance minister is active. It is important that he also appears before us to give us detailed briefing, particularly on those who have been dispatched to Jamaica and those who are going to Benin. Mr. Speaker, how can this House fulfill its role as guardians of public trust if it is kept in the dark? Our concern is not with the mission to Jamaica. It is with the manner of governance. A decision of this magnitude, taken without the basic courtesy of information to Parliament, which, very importantly, is anchored in the Constitution, weakens our democracy. It suggests that the executive alone defines national interest, and that Parliament's role is merely acquiescence. We are not here for the purpose of acquiescence. We have committee of Parliament made up of the majority and the minority. They deserve to be briefed, and they deserve to feed their people with information for us to understand what is happening. Mr. Speaker, not even leadership of Parliament in the past, say critical matters, the leadership were engaged, and that is a fact. Mr. Speaker, in the name of constitutionalism and the spirit of democratic solidarity, the minority hereby calls on the government to do the following. 1. Immediately lay before this House a full statement detailing the scope, mandate, duration, and the rules of engagement governing our troops in Jamaica. 2. We demand government to lay before this House the rules of engagement governing the troops that are being deployed in the Republic of Benin.
Honorable Leader, you've done 10 minutes.
Yes, I'm concluding.
Yes, conclude.
Mr. Speaker, we also demand that government to provide complete financial breakdown of all costs, present and future, associated with this deployment, and seek the necessary parliamentary approval for any expenditure as required by Article 179 of the Constitution. Then again, Mr. Speaker, government must provide details of all the release items that have been shipped to Jamaica, the sources of these release items. Were they donated by individuals? Are they coming from government coffers? And what is the total cost? And were they provided for in the budget? Mr. Speaker, then we also demand that government to commit to regular briefing for the relevant Parliamentary Select Committee, ensuring ongoing oversight in line with Parliament's constitutional mandate, including updates on the welfare of our troops in Jamaica and every necessary welfare support to their families. Mr. Speaker, let no one make any mistake. We are a proud Ghanaians willing to help sister nations in distress. But where there are people displaced in our own country,
Honorable Minority Leader, with respect of our own rules, please conclude.
Mr. Speaker, I'm doing
Order
right.
91.4 is very clear.
Mr. Speaker,
5
I'm doing
minutes.
so.
You've done more than 10 minutes.
Mr. Speaker,
so
I'm
conclude.
doing so. I brought the statement up. So let me
conclude.
Very well. Mr. Speaker, we have Ghanaians who are in exile in Côte d'Ivoire. They must be catered for. We know of the situation in Dollar Town. We have to cater for the people that ensure law and order there. Mr. Speaker, we stand with the people of Jamaica and we stand by the rule of law as well. To do otherwise, to act without transparency, is to build foreign goodwill on the weakening of domestic trust. Let us repair Jamaica without eroding Ghana's democracy. Let the executive lead, but Parliament must know. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Na yampan for amodwene.
Way boy.
Omodwene Ghana for ho. Omodwene Ghana mabunu ho.
Omo de omo born na ye kasa omo nteno.
And omo selfish interest. Ghana interest na doson. Unse obi ani abere wo kam kwai wo ya bibia. Eno a personal interest, parochial interest.
Ne Ghana da hodo.
Nanka ufie Ghana. Eja da ha ekom di amanfo atorancham si a emwo kra bebu ani pa yenya sika ne bi. Osi nsu ato. Emframafa Jamaica for omo ho akodim. Enti wo kukuru sika wei na de akoma Jamaica for.
Washe.
Charity begins at home.
If it is foolishness, it is foolishness.
Common sense, oh. Charity begins at home.
Ne Ghana da hodo.
Yes, oh, nyonko da, eno da. Obi hu tine na betimi aboa no a, oboa na aboni bi anim. But bisa hu sa Ghana ye ho toyen. Yenya ye ho. Si e betimi akọ Jamaica, ni akọ yi 10 million Ghana cedis. Ni ade akomo omo se atorentam ato omo. Ye drum su tobra na manfo dan so pa, amanfo japade asai, sika dodo se na etimi de mom.
Etumpan.
Disaster see o my Ghana nagmofo eno amadodo san no makukuru butamiensa nam de akogina la wakwada la nam de magana fo
Way.
kataba enumpe
Way.
ni akukuru ni ade akoma nipa no tu kwantena fo am ye Ghana fo a omo kọ Côte d'Ivoire sika dodo san na asad now yetimi de support omo amu free man pan John Traman mama ni krom
Hey, President Mahama.
sa tu kwantena fo no Anton kwanti omu twane ye no emwa dodo san ye timi de abo mo ni enye 10 million Ghana cedis ye de akoma Jamaica for say ensu ato Jamaica omo ho bi mu ho akere mu nti no ye support ni.
I think on this point he has misbehaved.
Okuja to Ablakwa no mo nya serious kakra wo
Way.
amamu no anya sabe personal business
Oh, no whole bad, the whole brutal.
anya wo personal interest amamu no anya joku enya wo do pa wo sori ya no wa bibi wo ntrem wo nka hwe sika no aye Ghana fo sika enya okuja to sika enya John Traman mama sika we are accountable to Ghanaians.
Ye kan we aso be reset your mind.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.